So then because the book took 3 years, I think I got that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years in the making. What was the hardest part of creating the book?
Ooh. Good question. The hardest part. I think the hardest part was really to move from more abstract, vague ideas to written out text, to really all put it down and to sort of work through all the issues that come up if you really spell it out, put it in full text and work through all the details of the arguments and of the aspects. That was initially also we planned to get it done way quicker than we ended up doing. I think in the end, still 3 years for a book, almost 500 pages is, I think, not too bad, but still we thought like, oh, we have these general ideas in mind. So we had a lot of the titles, for example, for the building blocks in mind, but then you have to really write them out in a way that is really easy for people to understand and for teachers to be like, oh, okay, this is helpful. I can now use this for my own course and apply it. That step was really a lot more difficult than we initially thought, and that took more time. But at the same time, there's also a lot of new ideas and new things came up during that process. So it was also really fun. It was not just like a struggle that was tough, but it was just a process that took way longer than expected.
So what is the hard part about having the ideas and then putting them down on paper?
I think the main thing we ran up against is just realizing that actually, you have some fake ID, but if you want to write it down in detail, then a lot of other questions come up. So saying, you should learn to, you should let students practice with analyzing problems and letting them write proposals. If you say it like that, it's fairly easy and it sounds straightforward. But then if you say, okay, now write 10 pages on that, and what specific aspects to teach to students and which teaching materials for that to use, then it becomes a lot more difficult. Like, oh, well, wait, what does that really entail and why is it really important and what aspects does it have and where can I really find sort of exercises or materials that are useful for that? That's really quite a big step. And I think also that's sort of not only for us, but if I look around in the rethinking economics movement, like I think it's fairly, sometimes also for teachers, we often get back like, yeah, it's nice you say you want all those things, but how do you do that? And that question of how do you do that is often quite tricky. Like it's nice to say you want pluralism or you want the real world to be taught, but doing that in practice is often quite tricky if you want to do it well. So I think with writing out the full text, we sort of had to work our way through that and really think. So if you now give a course 101 economics, what do you actually include and do not include, and how do you make that decision? Really work through that in a systematic way. That was sort of a very tough but also fun process that we hope we can sort of help others get through that process a bit quicker than us.